Your muscles feel weaker. It might start with breakfast. You wake up, your legs feel a little stiffer than yesterday. You grip your coffee mug, and your hand feels just a bit slower. You tell yourself, it's just age. But what if it's not? What if something you've been doing every morning for years is quietly eating away at your strength? I'm not talking about exercise. I'm not even talking about some big, scary diagnosis. I'm talking about your breakfast. Today, I want to walk you through 7 small but critical habits, beginning with your plate, that are either building your strength or slowly breaking it down. You won't need a gym, you won't need supplements, you just need to understand how aging and nutrition work together or against each other. And it all starts with what your muscles are begging for the moment you open your eyes. When you sleep, your body rests. But your muscles, they're in recovery mode, healing, rebuilding, replenishing. And by the time you wake up, they've gone nearly 8 hours without fuel. That's why your first meal of the day isn't just about energy. It's about telling your body to rebuild instead of break down. If you skip breakfast, or if you start your day with just toast or coffee, your body doesn't get the amino acids it needs to begin repairing muscle. Instead, it goes into a mild catabolic state, a fancy term for breaking down muscle for energy. This is how sarcopenia starts, not in a hospital, not with an accident, but with daily choices that seem harmless, until you realize your legs feel weaker, your arms feel less steady, and climbing stairs takes more out of you than it used to. Here's the good news. You can stop this, you can reverse it, you can get stronger, starting right now by changing one simple thing in your morning routine. In the next section, I'll tell you exactly what that is and why most people get it wrong. You might think your breakfast is harmless, a slice of toast, maybe a bowl of cereal, a muffin from the freezer, or a quick granola bar with your morning coffee. But here's the thing. That small habit might be the reason your strength is slipping. Why? Because most of these foods are loaded with refined carbohydrates and contain almost no protein, which means they spike your blood sugar, they give you a short burst of energy, and then they leave you crashing, foggy, tired, and weaker than before. Meanwhile, your muscles, which just spent all night breaking down and waiting for fuel, get nothing they need to repair. Worse yet, that sugar spike triggers a wave of insulin, which leads to inflammation, one of the biggest enemies of muscle growth after 60. Now imagine doing that every day after day, month after month, year after year, without even realizing you're quietly starving your muscle tissue. And here's the scariest part. Most seniors don't even feel hungry in the morning, so they skip breakfast entirely or grab something quick and sugary just to get going. But that getting going might be the reason you're starting to feel unstable, low on energy, or even nervous about falling. Don't worry. We're not talking about giving up breakfast, just changing what's on the plate. In the next section, I'll show you how one simple shift can change the way your body heals, moves, and feels, starting tomorrow morning. We all know sugar isn't great, but most people think of it in terms of weight gain or blood sugar. What they don't talk about? Sugar breaks down muscle. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly, quietly, every single day. Here's what happens. When you eat something sugary in the morning, say a flavored yogurt, a granola bar, or even a glass of orange juice, your blood sugar spikes fast. Then your body releases a rush of insulin to bring it back down. And during that roller coaster, your body goes into a state of inflammation. And inflammation is like acid to your muscles. It interrupts repair. It reduces protein synthesis, the very process your body uses to rebuild strength after movement or sleep. And over time, it slows down your ability to recover after a walk, a fall, or even a stretch. You may not feel it right away, but you'll notice it in little ways. Your legs feel heavy going upstairs. Your grip feels weaker when opening a jar. You feel sore after doing something small, like grocery shopping. And sugar doesn't just hide in candy. It's in Flavored yogurts, instant oatmeal packets, cereal clusters, even so-called healthy protein bars. It doesn't matter what the label says. If it ends in OSI, glucose, fructose, dextrose, it's sugar. And if it's hiding in your breakfast, it's sending one message to your body. These muscles don't matter, but you know better, and now you can eat better. In the next section, I'll show you what to eat instead. No dieting, no counting, just real muscle-loving food. Here's something most people don't realize. As you age, you need more protein, not less. That's right, even if you're not lifting weights, even if you're just walking the dog or gardening. Your muscles still depend on protein to rebuild and stay strong. The problem? Most seniors don't get enough of it, especially at breakfast. A slice of toast, a banana, maybe some tea. It feels like enough food. But what your muscles actually hear is, sorry, no tools today. Imagine trying to build a house without bricks. That's what your body is trying to do when you skip protein in the morning. And after 60, this matters more than ever. Studies show older adults need 1.2 to 1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. But most people barely get half that, especially before noon. The good news? You don't need to eat like a bodybuilder. You just need a little bit of the right thing, consistently. Try this instead. 1 boiled or scrambled egg, a spoonful of peanut butter on whole grain toast, a half cup of Greek yogurt with berries, a protein smoothie with oats and almond milk, even a handful of almonds or walnuts. You don't need perfection, just a signal, a message to your body that says, I still need this muscle, keep it strong. And when you start your day with protein, you'll notice more steady energy, less dizziness or shakiness, better balance. And over time, yes, more strength. Next, we'll talk about the most overlooked part of your morning that directly affects your muscles, and most people forget it entirely. You've probably heard it 100 times. Drink more water. But here's what they don't tell you. If you're over 60, dehydration can quietly destroy your strength. Your muscles? They're made of nearly 75% water, and when they're dehydrated, they get tight, slow, and prone to injury. Even if you don't feel thirsty, your body could already be running on empty. Why? Because as we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. By the time you feel dry, your muscles are already struggling. Dehydration does more than make you tired. It slows down blood flow, which means your muscles get less oxygen, fewer nutrients, slower healing. You might notice it as soreness after a short walk, tightness in your legs, feeling dizzy when you stand up too fast. And if you're starting your day with just coffee or tea, you're making it worse. Caffeine and sugary drinks act as diuretics, pulling even more water from your system. So what can you do? Try this simple routine. Drink 1 glass of water as soon as you wake up, before coffee, before breakfast. Sip water with every meal. Keep a small bottle nearby and take tiny sips during the day. If plain water feels boring, add lemon, cucumber, or mint. Include hydrating foods like watermelon, oranges, or cucumbers. You don't need to flood yourself, but 6 to 8 small glasses a day can make the difference between steady legs and shaky ones. Because muscles don't just need movement, they need moisture. And without water, no amount of protein or exercise will help them function. Coming up next, let's talk about something that can bring those muscles back to life, even if you haven't worked out in years. Let's be honest. The words strength training probably bring up a mental image you don't relate to. Gyms, weights, young people grunting in mirrors. But here's what nobody tells you. After 60, strength training isn't about vanity, it's about survival. Every decade after age 30, we lose 3.5% of our muscle mass. Even if we stay active, by 60, that loss can double, unless you fight back. And no, fighting back doesn't mean lifting 50-pound weights. It means telling your body, I still need you. Strength training after 60 is standing up from a chair, slowly without using your hands, doing gentle push-ups on the wall, holding a balance pose for 10 seconds, lifting water bottles as light weights, using resistance bands while sitting on the couch. It's not about reps. It's not about sweating buckets. It's about keeping your legs strong enough to carry you, your arms steady enough to hold you, and your core stable enough to prevent falls. The truth, if you don't use your muscles, they forget. If you do use them, even just 10 minutes a day, they remember. Studies show that just 2 30-minute sessions a week can improve balance, boost walking speed, prevent falls, and even reduce pain. You're not trying to become a bodybuilder. You're trying to stay independent, and that, more than anything, is worth the effort. Next, we'll look at the foods that pretend to be harmless, but secretly chip away at everything you're working to build. Not all weakness comes from doing too little. Sometimes it comes from eating the wrong things, even when they don't seem that bad. You may think, I don't eat fast food. I'm not eating candy all day. But here's the truth. Many everyday foods marketed as easy or healthy are actually loaded with ingredients that weaken your muscles. Let's break them down. 1. Sugary drinks. Soda, diet soda, sweetened iced teas. They cause inflammation, spike blood sugar, and dehydrate your muscles. 2. Processed meats, deli meats, bacon, sausages. These are packed with preservatives and sodium nitrates that increase oxidative stress and slow muscle recovery. 3. White bread, white rice, white pasta. Refined grains act just like sugar. They give a short burst of energy, then leave you weaker, with no fuel for repair. 4. Snack foods and pastries. Chips, crackers, even muffins. They're often filled with trans fats, artificial additives, and hidden sugars. They offer calories, but no nutrients. Flavored yogurts and healthy bars. Yes, even these. Check the label. If there's more than 6 to 8 yolks of added sugar, you're not helping your muscles. You're feeding inflammation. The worst part? These foods don't make you feel sick right away. That's why they're so dangerous. They chip away at your strength quietly, every single day. The fix? You don't need to go on a diet. You just need to swap smart. Choose whole grains instead of white flour. Pick lean meats or legumes instead of cold cuts. Use olive oil instead of frying. Add berries, leafy greens, nuts, and turmeric. Foods that fight inflammation. Because the truth is simple. Your muscles are trying to heal, but they can't do that if the fuel you're giving them is actually slowing them down. Coming up next, there's one more thing millions of seniors use every day, with the best intentions, that may quietly be working against them. You wake up stiff, your knees ache, your back doesn't feel quite right. So, like millions of people over South, you reach for a painkiller. Ibuprofen, acetaminophen, maybe naproxen. It helps. So you take another the next day and the next. But here's the part no one tells you. That daily painkiller might be keeping your muscles from healing. Here's why. Every time you move, even gently, your muscles develop micro tears. That's normal. It's part of how they grow stronger. Your body sends natural inflammation to repair the damage. But NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, block that signal. They turn off the very process your body uses to rebuild strength. So what happens? You stretch, but don't feel stronger. You walk, but don't build endurance. You heal slower, even when you're doing everything right. Over time, your muscles start to fade, even though you're staying active. And that's not the only problem. Overusing painkillers can stress your liver and kidneys, irritate your stomach, making it harder to absorb nutrients, interfere with sleep, which is when muscles actually recover. Now let's be clear, pain relief has its place. After injury, during flare-ups, absolutely. But if popping a pill has become a daily routine, it might be time to pause and ask, is this helping or hiding something deeper? better alternatives exist: warm compresses or Epsom salt baths, gentle stretching, anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, ginger, or fatty fish, walking outdoors or doing light yoga, mindful breathing or short meditation sessions. And most importantly, talk to your doctor. Let them know your long-term goals. Ask about muscle repair, strength, and safer pain solutions. Because when it comes to aging strong, relief shouldn't come at the cost of resilience. Next, let's talk about the one nutrient almost every senior is missing and how that quiet deficiency might be making everything else worse. Most people think of protein as something for athletes, bodybuilders, young people at the gym with shaker bottles. But here's what almost no one tells seniors: you need more protein as you age, not less. Why? Because with every passing year, your body breaks down more muscle than it can rebuild, unless you're giving it the right fuel. And what's the most important fuel? Protein. Let's talk numbers. Most older adults need 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. For someone who weighs around 440 pounds, that's about 75 to 90 grams of protein a day. Now, here's the kicker. Most seniors get half of that, or less. Why? Because we eat toast for breakfast, soup for lunch, rice and veggies for dinner. Comforting, yes, but almost no protein. Your body might feel full, but your muscles, they're starving. This is one of the biggest reasons why simple things, like getting out of a chair or climbing a step, suddenly feel harder than they used to. The good news? You don't need to overhaul your whole diet. Just make small, consistent upgrades. Here's how. Add a scrambled or boiled egg in the morning. Stir in some Greek yogurt with nuts or seeds. Toss lentils or beans into your lunch salad. Include chicken, fish, tofu, or lean beef at dinner. Snack on cottage cheese or a small protein shake. Even a spoonful of peanut butter on whole grain toast is a step in the right direction. Because here's the bottom line. Muscles aren't built in the gym. They're built in the kitchen. And if your muscles aren't being fed, they won't get stronger, no matter how active you are. Coming up next, you've stretched, you've walked, you've eaten well. But there's one more crucial step in this muscle strengthening equation, and it happens while you do absolutely nothing. Here's the truth. No one says loud enough. You are not too old to get stronger, not too stiff, not too tired, not too far gone. Every single day, your body is listening. Every bite you take, every step you walk, every sip of water, every moment of rest is either telling your muscles you're still needed, or it's saying, we're giving up. But you're here, which means you haven't given up. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to become a gym rat or give up every food you love. You just need to make a few better choices, more often than not. Here's where to start. Add protein to your breakfast. Drink water first thing in the morning. Move. Just 10 minutes of strength. Work a few times a week. Cut back on sugar and processed snacks. Stretch, rest, and listen to your body, and talk to your doctor about medications that might slow your progress because you're not trying to impress anyone. You're fighting for something bigger, your independence, your confidence, the ability to get out of a chair without fear, the strength to recover when life knocks you down. This isn't about looking younger. It's about living better, for longer. And the best part? It's not too late. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment below with the word strong. Let's show the world that strength after 60 isn't rare. It's just underestimated. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs a reminder. You're not done. You're just getting started. Because strength doesn't have an age limit, and your next chapter can be your strongest one yet.